What is going on, YouTube? It's your Workday Slacker here, and I wanted to walk through another edition of Help Me Open My Mail. Just kidding, just kidding. I got some cards that I've ordered over the last few weeks, and I just wanted to have a little discussion while we kind of go through some of the new cards about always trying to have a good value mindset when you're buying cards in this game. Everybody's really excited about the new set. Dusk Till Dawn comes out in just over a month and some change. There's going to be some considerations as that set comes into everybody's hands, which is what are people going to be opening when they go to play at their favorite stores? The answer is Monarch. They're going to be doing a lot of Monarch drafting. That means there's going to be more supply of Monarch that's getting opened, cracked, and cards are being ultimately that fills out the market, and kind of a lot of those are going to be sold. So just some thoughts around why I've been buying certain things, and it is a great time to be buying cards right now. I feel like everything's been a little quiet. Nothing's been going crazy since Outsiders came out, and nothing's been spiking. So that's always a good time. You kind of want to see that calm, that time, because it's a really good time to accumulate things that you like. So I'll start with some of the things that I probably wouldn't recommend buying, and that honestly is Monarch. I bought some of these because I had a little bit of FOMO. Just some random Levia and Prism Majestics. You never know how things are gonna go, but I really don't think that some of these Monarch cards are gonna be like spiking in crazy value. Maybe one or two of them will be, but just like I said, because of the nature of what's gonna be drafted a lot in the next little while, I think that there's going to be a really big availability of a lot of these Monarch cards. So there's going to be a good supply of them. But that being said, if you want any of these kind of, any of the ones that you want to play right out the gate, like Lumina Ascension, which, he's not good today, but he might be good someday. No, I'm just kidding. I think people realize that Bolton is like one or two cards away from being busted. So I just wanted to pick these up while they're still super cheap. They might still just stay super cheap. Again, I'm not claiming to be an investing wizard, but really the best advice I can give you is if you like the thing and you're gonna play it, just buy it while it's cheap. Don't wait for someone to make like a top 8 with it and then it goes crazy. This is kind of like the sequel to a Stackswell video. If you're watching a Market Watch and he's telling you to buy it, this is me just saying, hey, you can totally buy a bunch of these cards and they're pretty cheap. So Cleave, Warrior stuff. You'll notice, really the one that I wanted to highlight was I like Warriors. So that's what you'll see a lot of my purchases actually were. So I bought, a full play set of Spoils of Wars, making sure I got those Iron Song Determinations, because there's only one print of these bad boys. It's black border. There ain't no white border. So the interesting thing about this card too is it's a warrior action. It's generic. So you can play this in Bolton, you can play this in Kasai. This isn't a Dorinthia card like I think most people think. So generic warrior action, super good card. Spoils of War, super good card. Steelblade Supremacy, super good card, but it is only a Dorinthia card. And then for some reason, the most elusive card in my entire WTR career is Singing Steelblade. I haven't opened a single one of these. I've opened like, it feels like 100 boxes, but I think I've opened like maybe 8 or 9 boxes of WTR. Never pulled a single one. So I don't know what I was trying to prove with this, but basically a lot of this stuff is super cheap right now. If you think that you're gonna like playing Warrior, or that Warrior is gonna be getting support, which we do know that they are getting support, then why not buy them now if you like that playstyle? If you are more into, the Guardian playstyle, these cards are super cheap right now too. Crippling Crush. Very hard to pull these cards from opening cases. You might as well just get a playset if you ever want to play the Bravo, big old Guardian. With Oldhim going away too, anybody who's kind of an Oldhim player, you're looking to reshuffle, recycle some of your cards, you should kind of look at getting those ones. And then this one I just had to share with the team because this is a little bit of a YOLO, banking on this card going up in value in the future, because Pounding Gale, just like Steelblade, Iron Song Determination, these guys only exist in the black border. So Pounding Gale for 1 resource, 5 damage. If Open to the Center was the last attack, this would deal damage to a hero. Instead, it deals double that damage. So if you put this at the end of your combo chain and you deal 3 damage, you're actually dealing 6 damage for 1 resource. I just think that's a bit too good to not kind of explore that. So I got myself a playset, and if the price goes up, I got myself some trade tokens, you know? That's, I consider this my Rattlebones part 2. When, a couple weeks ago I was talking about Rattlebones, I got a playset of the reverse foils or rainbow foils, and since then they've gone absolutely crazy. So glad I got those when I did, and yeah. All right, let's get into the big hits. So a couple things I wanted to talk about with these 3 piles here. So there's 3 types of cards that you might be looking out for. There's the good class, proven hero, cards that haven't really done much. Or, they've done some stuff, but people aren't fully sold on them. And that one right here is the assassin class. And some of these cards, I think, are just way too cheap for how good they are. So this one in particular, Spreading Plague, what a cool card. If you've ever played Hearthstone, then you know any card called Spreading Plague needs to be respected. Really, that's, at the end of the day, that's number 1. So I got a couple of those. Knives Out, I just think this is kind of a super neat card. It's 0 cost. You can, pump up your daggers, and it's also a ninja card, which I appreciate. And on that same topic, the ninja cards, we're going to look at some of those in a second. But got a full playset of Concealed Blade because I think this enables a strategy that is, uninteractable, where you can kind of sling your daggers at your opponent and then equip a new dagger. So you could have a sideboard of, upwards of 3 extra daggers and equip them. So I think that is going to be something maybe they do more of in the future. So definitely interested to see how that goes. So really this first pile was, I'm not playing Assassin anytime soon, but I think that these are really good cards that once they go up in price, I probably will never buy them. So buy the interesting cards for the good class while they're cheap. The next pile is what is interesting to me, what would I like to play and what would I like to build? Well, that's what this pile is. And that is correct. We've got our ninja. Our ninja here, Katsu, who's really, seems like he's hitting a stride right now. He's getting, a lot of people, oh, that was supposed to be for later. I'll show you that one last. But he's really hitting his stride. A lot of people are playing Katsu and doing really well. I think there's certain classes that really struggle with Katsu too. And there was classes that struggled against Oldhim, which was, Ninja was one of them. And now with Oldhim kind of going away, there's going to be a whole bunch of people playing classes that would just get shut down by certain heroes. So that's what this pile is here. It's, my commitment to trying out this new hero. I got to give the Brute a break for a little bit and try something new. So what do we grab? We grabbed some Find Center, which is some Crucible of War Majestics for Ninja. We've got some Dishonor, which is a absolutely game-winning card if you can get it to work, where you shut off your opponent's hero power for the rest of the game. Just seems way too good. I've actually had this, the threat of this come into me a few times, and it just puts you on your back foot the rest of the game. So, and then a full playset of Rainbow Foil Cyclone Roundhouse Kicks, which is way too good of a card for way too cheap. Maybe it's not a good card. I don't know. Someone's going to tell me I'm wrong. But if you haven't seen the 3 floating reveal video for this card, you must, because it's actually jokes. But Rainbow Foil Majestics for a card that I think could do some insane things, where you can banish your, a card from their chain. If they're blocking with equipment, you basically just banish their equipment. So definitely an interesting card, and I want to play more of it. What else goes well with Katsu? Well, the man needs some boots. So I realized I didn't have any good ninja boots. We got the Breeze Rider boots, Battle Worn, 1 attack, and giving cards go again. Seems like a necessity to playing ninja, so just threw those in there. And then, we got a little spoiler of this one before, but I had to get the Flick Knives because it goes perfectly with that dagger up strategy that we had here, concealed blade. But like I said, if you watch any of Stackswell's Market Watch videos, he'll tell you these legendaries are too cheap. I agree with him 100%. I don't know if this card's going to be, you know, $100 in the future, but I know that it's probably not going to go a lot lower than $30 or $40. So what's your downside risk? It's very minimal. And if you like that playstyle of having a good arm piece and a really cool legendary piece of equipment, and you like ninjas, I just don't see how you could go wrong picking that up for 40 bucks. 40 bucks Canadian. So what is that, like $5 American? You know, peanuts. So those are the piles. Interesting cards for heroes you don't plan on playing. Good cards for players you might want to play. So this is some trade leverage here, some cards you want to use. And then ultimately, this one is, if I don't buy it now, I'm probably not going to be able to buy it. Ho ho! And it's beautiful. So we know Vincent coming out very soon. We know that rune blades are historically very, very good classes. Hell, we might even have Viserai be the best rune blade when Vincent comes out, because if there's any generic rune blade cards, he can use them. But this card for, this is an expensive card, right? It's not a Flick Knives. Like, you can't just go and buy it for $40. But if Runeblade is good, and I think the new Runeblade is going to be good, then this card's going to go up in the short term. Like, you already know that that's going to happen. I haven't seen a huge influx of buying for this card after the hero was revealed. Maybe a little pump at the beginning, but it's still low, right? So people are thinking and sitting around, I'll wait until Vincent's good before I buy this card. And what I'm telling you here now is, do not do that in anything in life. Do not wait. If you think that you like this playstyle, if you think you like this house, you think you like this car, whatever, if you have the means and you want it, and you're going to get value out of it, just move on it today. Don't wait until everyone wants it and the price goes up. So that's my tiny little lesson in economics and human behavior. But hope you enjoyed some of the cards, and I'm really looking forward to building a ninja deck, and I think that I kind of have to build a Runeblade deck too once we get there. But I'm really looking forward to the month of July for this game, because there's going to be a ton of events and drafts and points to be earned. So yeah, hope you have a good day. Happy Monday, and don't work too hard. Peace.